Alright guys, what's going on? We've got season 21 cards here today, and I know that not everybody loves these videos. However, they're my favorite videos to make. So much effort goes into this, so much more effort than me fighting in war. And I'm also going to have some statistics here about how I did and how the top 10 people in 4Loki did. So I'm going to go ahead and show that stuff really quick, and then I'll show the cards. So this is what our PR sheet looks like, our power rating sheet. This is what Taters makes. He updates it after every war. And then this was the final one for the season. So you can see here who finished in the top 10. I only did the top 10. And this is pretty candid. So it shows how many deaths every person got. You can see in the top 10, only one person finished the season deathless. That was Pete. Everybody whose name is in red is in my battle group 3. Everyone in green is in battle group 1, and everyone in blue is in battle group 2. So, the main thing that you want to look at for this, you can see here that it wouldn't necessarily seem like some of the placements would be accurate. So like me, for example, I finished in 7th overall in the Alliance, which is awesome. I took 67 fights and died 3 times. But the person who finished underneath me did 68 fights in the season and only died 1 time. So they had a higher solo rate than I did. But if you look on the far right side, that far right column, the TDR per fight, that's true difficulty rating per fight. So basically it's how hard your fights are. And anything above 1.2 is considered above average as far as difficulty rating goes. So you can see here that my difficulty rating was 1.27. That's on the higher end. There are a couple people in the top 10 whose difficulty ratings were higher than mine, but only one person outside of the top 10 had a higher difficulty rating than I did. So, but that's why, like, TJ, for example, the fights that he took are just not fights that we die to very often. So it's not that I did better than TJ necessarily because he soloed more fights than I did. It's just the way that the numbers work out with the system so that people who are taking bosses, for example, get the credit that they deserve. Legacy took 6 bosses this season. He finished in 2nd. And you can see that of the top 10, 5 of those people came from my battle group. So I think that the reason for that is because we have so many people who are so good in battle group 3. And I know that everyone in 4Loki is good at the game, obviously. But our battle group leader tries to make it as fair as possible for everybody and give everybody enough fights so we're not just like stacking 1 or 2 people on the high end. So, yeah, we had 5 out of the 10 people finish in the top 10. We just didn't have the number 1 spot because we do split up the fights pretty evenly. So you can see here also that, for example, B. Manny, he had the highest difficulty rating in fights in the entire Alliance. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that he took all 12 bosses in his battle group last season, which is just insane, and I'm pretty sure he soloed everyone. So yeah, and I didn't take any bosses, which is why my difficulty rating is not nearly as high as his. Legacy's is higher than mine. He took 6 bosses this season, soloed all of them. And then FaZe, who finished number 1, I think he took maybe like 10 of the bosses in Battle Group 1. Basically the boss node, because it's so difficult, usually it does give more points than the other nodes. So yeah, great job to everybody who finished in top 10. Everybody who finished in top 10 gets a special card as well. And I believe it's the Emerald card, but I'll get into that in a second. And everybody who finished in top 5 gets a diamond card, and the number 1 person every season gets an opal card, which is like the most rare. So that's like, there's only 1 of those given out every season. There's 5 diamond cards given out every season, and then 10 of the emerald card. And this is actually my 3rd season playing in 4Loki. It's my 3rd season finishing in the top 10. I think last season I just barely snuck in. But this is my best season as far as power ratings go since I've joined. I think the first season I was here, the season got cut short, so I ended up finishing in the top 5. But I think that was kind of a fluke. This is my first full season where I feel like I've done pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the cards now. So the first card I'm going to show here is a card that I've shown before, but after every war, 3 people get cards. The number 1 place finisher, number 2 place, and number 3 place. This is from our war against ASR. I took 10 fights. I did die to a bug on the boss fight, but other than that, I soloed all of my fights, and the difficulty rating of them were pretty high. So this is probably the card that I've gotten that I'm most proud of, and I did get it this season. Alright, and then the second card is from the 10th war of the season. Once again, I finished first place in the Alliance as far as power ratings go. For that war, I believe I took 8 or 9 fights in a mini boss, and that was the war where Legacy and I finished top 2 in the Alliance, so I'm also really proud of this one. Okay, now let's move along to the new cards that nobody's seen before. This first one here is the blue card. It's a Sapphire card. Everybody who is in for Loki for a season gets a member card, and it's basically just to like commemorate your season. You get to choose a champion that you like, or you get to choose 5 champions that you like, and basically it's just to demonstrate the fact that you were in the Alliance for a season. It shows where the Alliance placed in the upper right hand corner, and like it shows what season it is and what battle group you were in. So I love this card. I think that this one is visually probably one of my favorites. And then this is another one. This is basically an identical card, but the green and the little emerald emblem in it demonstrates that you finished top 10 in the Alliance, and I did finish number 7, so I got this one. So you can see in the bottom right corner it says 7 out of 10. It has a little emerald on it, and it also has my power rating for the season, which was 85.83, and what battle group I was in, my name again. So I'm super proud of this card. I absolutely love it. It looks so cool. Guillotine 2099 is one of my favorite champions in the game. But yeah, so I was really, really excited to get this card. Top 10 is usually, it's where I've kind of been aiming to finish, if I can, in the Alliance. And so I was really, really happy to get this one. And then this last one, as far as the season cards go, this one's called the Shinobi card. It's like basically a ninja card, and if you have a 95% solo rating or higher for the season, you get this card. And this is probably the one that I wanted the most. I missed this one last season, so and it's only been around for 2 seasons, so this is my first time getting it. And I think that to me, I think it's, aside from like the cards that you get after each war, I think it's the most special because it just goes to show that of the fights you were given, that you were able to be successful 95% of the time. So I'm really, really proud of this one. I think it looks amazing. And I think all the cards look amazing. Taters did such a good job. This whole card system, it really does give like an extra dimension of like fun and friendly competition that, like, you know, nobody's down on each other for how they do in the season, like if you don't finish in the top 10 or if you don't get a 95% solo rating. But it kind of gives you a way to compete against yourself too, and I think overall that it pushes everybody in the Alliance to try to play a little bit better. I think that everybody would play their best regardless, but it's a way to kind of like recognize people who finish, you know, the person who takes the hardest fights in the Alliance and solos most of them, or like the top 5 and top 10 people. And then there's another card too, that if you're not eligible for one of the top 10 cards at the end of the season, it's called a Paragon card, and those cards are really, really awesome too. It's basically like if you're a good teammate and you do what you're asked to do without complaining and just have a good attitude. So there really is a way to kind of recognize everybody in the alliance and in the battle group with this system. It doesn't make anybody feel bad that I know of. And I just think that it's like a really special and interesting thing. And it's just something else that makes me grateful to be in this alliance. So, yeah, I know that not everybody is overly interested in this stuff, but for me personally, it's my favorite type of video to make. Congratulations again to everybody who finished in the top 10, to everybody who got a 95% solo rate, to everyone who got a Paragon card, to everybody who participated in the season. It was a really good season for us. It started out pretty rocky, but we were able to finish it on a strong note, especially in Battle Group 3, having a 0 death clear in our last war of the season. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I do have a couple of other war videos, off-season war videos coming out that people had asked to see, like specific matchups, so I'll be posting those soon. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.